If you feel like you've lost control over your life and always fall short on your goals, then today the 2 proven methods I will share with you will help you to get your life back starting today. As a professional project manager, I get paid to plan multi-million-dollar projects, and one day I asked myself, why don't I just use the methods to turn around my personal life as well? I saw massive results. This video is packed with examples and free tools, also personal experience, so therefore if you truly want to transform your life, make sure to not skip around the video because everything is tied together. The first method is called the work breakdown structure. It was first developed by the United States Department of Defense in 1957, and it's a simple yet effective method. At the highest level, you state your goal. Okay, to be honest, it's called the deliverable, but for this video and the sake of simplicity, I have to kill my inner perfectionist. Let's put as example that we want to save $3,000 in just 3 months to build up an emergency fund. And by the way, if you don't know how to set goals properly, I recommend you to watch this video over here. After setting your goal first, we can divide it into categories. We call this level 1. To do that, let's come to our first tool named Trello. It's a Kanban board I personally use to create a work breakdown structure. And just to be clear here, this is an oversimplified approach for your personal life and project management. Surely this can get much more complex, but for our use case, the level of detail we get to in this video is surely enough. So coming back to level 1, our categories, let's ask ourselves, what must be done in order to achieve our stated goal? If we found our answers, we click on Add New List in Trello. Of course, first, you need a job or better said an income to save something at least. Second, you need a savings account to store money safely. Third, we have your spendings. And fourth, the transfer of the money. Now that we've created our level 1 lists, let's zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture. You can see that every category is tied to the overall goal we want to achieve, right? Next, break every list further down to level 2. What I like to do here is to look at the overall goal again. Save 3K in 3 months. So it would roughly mean save $1,000 a month or $250 per week. Come back to the list named job. If it's achievable to save up 1K a month with one job, good. So you just need to add a card and name it Pickup Job A. Right now, you may understand that the cards we are adding right now are the tasks we need to perform. And for the case that one job is not enough to save up $1,000 a month, you need another card. Name it now Pickup Job B. So it can be any job like a side hustle, or you can start your own business. So after that, let's look at the category again, and we can understand that Pickup Job A and Pickup Job B will be sufficient in our case to save up 1K a month. So we can move on. So after we completed level 2, we go back to level 1, and the next level 1 list is called the savings account. So do you have a savings account in place? If not, create a card and name it Compare the Best Options. I linked a cool website down below from Forbes where you can get information about best high yield savings accounts. After the comparison, create another card with Open the chosen account. Now we can move to the third list in our Trello board. It's called the spendings. Do you know how much you spend on average a month? According to an article, the average American spends around $6,500 a month. Nearly half of it is only for transportation and housing. As you may assume now, for this list, we need to create multiple cards to be able to break this down. The first one is to identify all your spendings. The second one is to analyze them. The third one is to reduce them. And the fourth one is to review the measures we took. After we added everything in our Trello board, we come to our last list, the transfer. So basically you have 2 options right here in the transfer list. You can manually pay the amount of money you want to save up every month, or you can put up an automation so that the amount you want to save is deducted automatically. I'm a pro automation guy. Once set, you have no effort anymore, but this means you need some cards in your Trello board. For simplicity, let's only call it Setup Automation. If we now take a look at the total picture again, we by now have level 0, the goal, level 1, the milestone, we named it the list or the category, and level 2, the task. And if you need to add more details to your tasks, then you can easily do this in Trello as well. You can just click on the card and fill out detailed information or add collaboration partners. It's quite straightforward. So as I said, we will just cover high-level project management knowledge over here, but if you want to just work with the tool, you can discover so many functionalities and so many tools that can level up your game. But the structure alone we've done so far with level 0, 1 and 2 makes up, from my perspective, nearly 90% of a project success. Because this is the base before you execute a project. Therefore, take your time to set this up in detail, because in the next step, we will look at the timeline. And that's how we come to the second method, which is called the Gantt-Chart. Take a look at this, and this is how it will look like at the end of the video. So the cool thing between our work breakdown structure and our Gantt-Chart is that they can integrate directly. Just before I show you how you can do this with a few clicks, I want you to understand the theory behind it. As we discussed, in our Kanban board we have lists and we have cards, also called our milestones and our tasks, right? So to put this easy, you have the goal, you have milestones, and every milestone can have multiple tasks, but every task is different to each other because it has a different focus. But not only the focus is important, also who is performing the task and the due date which every task has are quite important factors as well. Let's now come back to Trello and click on the icon Gantt. For those who wonder where the icon is, it's quite tricky actually, because if you want to use the free version, which I assume you are doing, you need to click on power-ups, and I've done this already, so therefore mine is activated. But for those who don't, you click on the search button and type in Gantt. I'm using the plugin from Placker, and then you click on activate. Now in the next step, you click on this icon and a new page opens up. On the left hand side, you can now see all milestones and tasks we created in Trello. Now you can easily adjust the timeline. For example, you can just pull the marker for the total duration, but for those who don't like to use the computer's mouse, you can just double click there on the field and come over to the end duration and just type the number in. The tool then automatically calculates for you the rest, but it's now important to do this for the other tasks as well. As you do this, you might run into the project manager's dilemma, which is just to parallelize the tasks in order to be faster. But to be honest, sometimes it's just not possible to do everything in parallel. For example, just take a look at the milestone savings account, because in order to achieve the milestone, you need to compare the options first before you choose to open one account, right? So you cannot parallelize those two work packages. It might sound obvious to you, but if you plan something, you just want to become more faster, and then you're tempted to parallelize the packages and you will lose quality, so please don't do that. And after you've done that for every package, congratulations, your Gantt chart is fully set up. I personally check up daily on my tasks in Trello, and I put some notes, lessons learned over there, because as I progress, I just review the tasks I do in order to secure that I'm further on track. I promise you, if you do this for an amount of time, your personal life improves massively, because you are now one of the very few people to understand how to tackle problems and goals in a very structured way. And another positive side effect is that you don't give procrastination any room. My final take on this method is that, sure, not every task or not every goal needs to be planned and over-engineered like that, but in order to get you a feel of how a structured plan is working, how you can execute it, this is the right way to start off. And after some time, you get so used to it, you basically do a work breakdown structure in your head as you progress through life. One of the most important game changers for me was that I now understand how to deal with my resources and how to schedule time, because I want to have quality time with family and friends also, so therefore I secure it by just structurizing my day. And it's also easier if you start your first business, because you understand now the concept, the methods. Those tools I showed you are collaborative tools, so you can add co-founders, friends, or some people you are just working with, like suppliers. But what's now important for me is, what is your take on those methods? Did you find this helpful? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Plus, if you have any tips for me to improve the quality of my videos, just let me know as well. I appreciate that. As always, see you in the next one. Bye.